All right, the meeting between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin was a disaster. It was a complete disaster. For days leading up to this event, Donald Trump says, I'm going to be disappointed if we don't have a deal. I'm the master negotiator. I'll get a deal. We're meeting with Putin, all these things. First of all, there's no deal. And now they're running spin about how we never said we were going to leave this meeting with a deal. But number two, we rolled out the red carpet and frankly, made Vladimir Putin look like a hero on the world stage. It was gross. It was disgusting, and frankly, it was embarrassing, right? When Zelensky comes to the White House, we berate him. Trump berates him with his goons. But Vladimir Putin, a war criminal, gets a nice red carpet and handshakes and giddy smiles, right? Now, here's the thing. Marco Rubio has been their main spin man. Today, as I make this video, Sunday, he's been going around on all the news networks. Oh, we never said we were going to get a deal. This is going to take time, blah, 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 blah. So we're going to talk about that today and some updates on the deal. Quickly, I want you to see this, and if you could, share this with friends or family members or MAGA, because the most disappointing part of all this is that Trump's goons, as I call them, Marco Rubio being one of them, just no soul, no backbone, don't believe in anything. They change all of their positions based on what Trump wants, and it's so disappointing to see such slimy. They will do anything to retain power, retain their jobs. They believe in nothing. And they're public servants. Take a look at this old video of Marco Rubio talking about his position on Ukraine.
When the Soviet Union fell in the early 1990s, Ukraine was left with the world's third largest stockpile of tactical nuclear weapons and strategic nuclear weapons on the planet. But they signed this agreement with the United States, the United Kingdom, and Russia that basically said, if you give up your nuclear weapons, we, these three countries that signed to this, will provide for your defense and assure you of your defense. And so Ukraine did that. They gave up these weapons. Well, now, this was signed in 1994, 20 years later, one of the three countries that signed that agreement hasn't just not provided for their defense, they actually invaded them. And I want to make a point on this for a second. Think about if you're one of these other countries around the world right now that feels threatened by your neighbors. And the United States and the rest of the world are going to you and saying, listen, don't develop nuclear weapons. Don't develop nuclear weapons, South Korea. Don't develop nuclear weapons, Japan. Don't develop nuclear weapons, Saudi Arabia. We will protect you. We will watch out for you. What kind of lesson do you think this instance sends to them? I think the message this is sending to many nations around the world is perhaps we can no longer count on the security promises made by the free world. Perhaps we need to start looking out for ourselves. And that's why the Ukrainian situation is so much more important than simply what's happening in Europe. This has implications around the world.
Wow. How deeply ironic this video Marco Rubio is. This guy has no soul, no backbone. It is truly disgraceful to see Republicans, elected Republicans, or people appointed near Trump, or people in Congress, whatever, just be so shameless. They used to believe in something. Maybe they never have. Maybe at the time it was just, Marco Rubio is a smart guy, says these things, and then Trump gets in power and he needs a job. You don't want to be banished from the Republican Party, so you bow and you say, yes, sir, what can I do for you? And you go and you lie to the American people on a world stage. That is so deeply ironic. Let's get into what Marco Rubio is saying today on these news networks about what happened between Trump and Putin in Russia, because this will make you laugh. It's ridiculous, the spin that they're trying to give. First of all, really quickly, my name is Chris Mowrey. I'm filling in for Adam Mockler on the Adam Mockler channel. If you enjoy this type of content, the link to my YouTube channel will be in the description down below. You guys have shown so much love lately. Truly, I appreciate you. And on this channel, we're trying to build something big to punch back against Republican media, this MAGA media machine, a lot of what lost us the 2024 election. And on this channel, we're trying to do something big to punch back against MAGA media, this Republican media machine, a lot of what lost us the 2024 election. And on this channel, like I said, trying to combat that, trying to punch back, uplift Gen Z voices going into 2026 and 2028. And if you want to help us do that and join this community, all you have to do is hit subscribe down below. It goes such a long way. We appreciate you. All right, let's get into this really quickly, and then I'll give you some more updates about the fact that we don't have a deal. We have no deal. Marco Rubio's whistle-top tour of 4 major TV networks on Sunday appears to have left him a little hazy on what exactly Donald Trump actually said ahead of the president's much-planned Alaska summit with dictator Vladimir Putin. Quote, We never said there was going to be a deal coming out of the meeting, the Secretary of State told Fox News on Trump's historic sit-down with the Russian president, held Friday primarily to discuss terms of a ceasefire to the Kremlin's 3-year war in Ukraine. Trump had, in fact, told the network just hours before the summit took place, quote, "I won't be happy if I walk away without some form of a ceasefire," and that, quote, "I think we're close to a deal." Again, this is what Marco Rubio said on Fox News this morning when he was basically pressed about this by Fox.
Why did President Trump's meeting with Putin end with no ceasefire? And what does Putin want?
Well, yeah, well, a couple things. First of all, if you recall, there's no way you can have a meeting like that. And we never said there was going to be a deal coming out of the meeting because...
I don't even want to hear the rest of the video. I just want to pause. Quote, "I won't be happy if I walk away without some form of a ceasefire. I think we're close to a deal." And this is obviously something Donald Trump said he could do on day one of his presidency. He said that twice. One of those instances, he said he could do it, not even as president, when he was president-elect. I mean, he's won the presidency in November. He's not in office yet. Are inaugurated on January 20th. He says, "I can just call the Russians and I'll get it done because I'm the master negotiator." It takes one phone call. These people in Washington are incompetent. We've gone from that to over 200 days into this administration. We're actually meeting. We're rolling out red carpets for war criminals, and there's no deal. Nothing was accomplished, or at least appears so far, nothing was accomplished at that meeting. So Marco Rubio running around to these different networks and saying, "Oh, we didn't think we were going to get a deal." No such deal has emerged from the meeting. At a subsequent press conference that lasted a matter of minutes, the two leaders made only vague claims of a mutual understanding, providing no details and taking no questions from reporters. Rubio has since found himself at the forefront of the White House's efforts at post-summit expectation management, embarking on a slew of TV sit-downs as critics continue to lambast Trump for making little progress in talks with Putin and for quite literally laying out the red carpet in a ceremonious event, otherwise widely seen only to have endorsed the Russian dictator standing on the world stage. This is the part of the problem and what Marco Rubio is trying to say, "Oh, he didn't do." You've normalized a war criminal on the world stage. And I'm actually, in reference to that, going to play you what Chris Murphy said today on Meet the Press to combat some of this Marco Rubio garbage about how this meeting went and the idea of normalizing a war criminal on the world stage. Take a listen.
Do you think that it's the right strategy to now focus on that broader peace deal?
That meeting was a disaster. It was an embarrassment for the United States. It was a failure. Putin got everything he wanted. I mean, first of all, he wanted that photo op, right? He wanted to be absolved of his war crimes in front of the world. He was invited to the United States. War criminals are not normally invited to the United States of America. He is intentionally murdering civilians. He's kidnapping children. And now he got to stand next to the president of the United States, legitimized in the view of the world. Second, he didn't have to give up anything, nothing. Right? President Trump said he wanted a ceasefire. It appears the ceasefire wasn't even seriously discussed. And then third, there's no consequences. Trump said, if I don't get a ceasefire, Putin's going to pay a price. And then he walked out of that meeting saying, I didn't get a ceasefire, I didn't get a peace deal, and I'm not even considering sanctions. You heard Secretary Rubio downplay sanctions. And so Putin walks away with his photo op, with zero commitments made and zero consequences. What a great day for Russia.
Exactly. I literally couldn't have said it better myself. Senator Chris Murphy said it so beautifully. It was perfect for Vladimir Putin. He played Trump like a fiddle, Right, and so I go back here, Marco Rubio, this is more of the same, that Marco Rubio is essentially going around trying to play this spin, saying, oh, it's fine, we didn't get a deal, this is what we expected. But again, as Senator Rubio said, President Donald Trump had in fact told reporters Wednesday that there would be, quote, very severe consequences if the Russian president didn't agree to a peace deal after their Alaska summit, adding Russia would, quote, not be doing business until we get the war settled. So again, like threatening those sanctions. If he didn't get a deal, and there's no deal, and now we're running around saying, no, it's fine, because he's never serious about actually holding Vladimir Putin accountable at all, because he loves Vladimir Putin. He cozies up to these dictators that he looks up to, and he's willing to trust Putin on certain things over, his own intelligence agencies, right? So the question is, frankly, as we've all been asking for a decade now, where does Donald Trump's alliance lie? And I think everybody knows the answer to that question, which he doesn't care about the American people. He doesn't care about the United States. He cares about himself, power, and enriching himself. And if the Russians are the answer to that, he cozies up in bed with them, right? And so again, you've heard all of this before. And so lastly, again, August 15th, 2025, Trump-Putin summit ends without a concrete deal. No deal until there's a deal. U.S. President Donald Trump said he and Russian Vladimir Putin made, quote, great progress, but did not emerge from today's summit with a deal on the war. In an interview on Fox Tonight, Trump put the onus on Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky to negotiate a ceasefire, saying there would soon be a meeting set up between Zelensky and Putin. Quote, they both want me there. I'm sure nobody wants you there. And key details still unclear. There's nothing. We got nothing. Let me know what you think about all of this down below. Especially this, people like Marco Rubio. It's the most frustrating part, in my opinion, of this kind of era in American history. There will be so many people looked at with such disgrace. Obviously Donald Trump, but the people around him. It's like a different type of light. To believe in something and be willing to give it up so easily, so shamelessly for power. It's gross. It's disgusting. I appreciate you watching this video. Make sure you're subscribed down below. Once again, my name's Chris Mowrey, filling in for Adam Mockler, and I will see you in the next video.